Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we're back with another exciting episode of Stellaris. Yay! I officially have a problem with this game. I sat down yesterday, Saturday morning,
System survey complete.
got up nice and early, and I was like, you know what? Let's record some Stellaris. But first, I want to try a new species that I've been trying out. And then, next thing I know, it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Where did the day go? And yeah, I was like, well, I can't record a game after I've been playing it for 8 or 9 hours straight. And so I didn't. I just kept playing. I have 48 hours in this game, and it's not even a week old. That's unhealthy, right? Oh, yes, you can get your money's worth in this game. There's no question about that. Where we last left off, we just basically ventured out into the vast unknown from our relatively safe yet kind of spread out crappy starting location. And one of the things we came across on Alpha Centauri 1 are these Alvothari. I'm going to call them centaurs myself, just because that's easy. These guys are presentient, and so a lot of the things that I said that we could do with the observation post, we can't do. Because basically these guys are proto-humans. Like, obviously they're not, humans, but they're not quite at the whole, language and society level. So there's not much to do. So my understanding of it is we could slap down an observation post and watch these guys. We won't really be able to do much until they get, at least to the Bronze Age, which could take forever. So I'm not against peacefully interacting with natives, and I'm certainly not against, trying to tech them up or, sneakily infiltrating their systems and bringing them fully into our fold, into our Galactic Union.
Complete.
But it's not really going to be a possibility with these guys. So what we're going to wind up doing is just colonizing, and then hopefully we'll be able to do something with these guys that isn't just, nothing. So we'll see. In the future, like I say, I'm totally fine plopping down an observation post. I like that idea, and I'm for something like the Human Galactic Union, I am not against peacefully bringing aliens up as our vassals. I think that is one of the most peaceful ways you could probably interact with less sentient or less developed societies, other than, of course, just not interfering at all. But where's the fun in ignoring things, right? So for Alpha Centauri, we're gonna just full-on colonize it, and then we're gonna go out of our way to not be jerks to the centaurs, of course, because like I said, while we do have a militarist government, I'm not necessarily going out on a conquer all species type of thing. The reason I set the government up the way I did, with no strong ethics and just generally a fairly diverse, jack of all trades sort of species, is because I think from a roleplay perspective, the humanity's not going to go out and discover all different races and be like, hey, we gotta kill everybody. Probably they're gonna be a little more reserved in their militant violence and conquest. So that's just the way it is in my head. We can probably speed this up to speed 2. And basically what we're waiting for now, when we get our mining stations built up, we're just waiting for this
Anomaly found.
15%, let's give that a research. What do we got? By chance, we stumbled upon a faint alien signal during the survey of the moon. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be a distress transponder? Well, let's find out. Looks like our constructor ship is done? Well, that's not right. You've still got more minerals to build. I guess, yeah, we only queued you up to do 2. That makes sense. I think, though, what we'd want to do is just hold off and wait until we get the 315 minerals. Do we want to... Well, I mean, taking a look back at the surface of Earth, we could probably do with some clearing out of tiles, although we're not quite at the stage of requiring any more spots, and we are doing fine on food. So I think probably we'd want to start clearing out some research. Yeah, let's get some research cleared out first. Or do we just wait for the colony ship? We're like 100 minerals away, so we're 10 months away. Yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait, because it's not pressing, and everybody here will produce something, so that's good. The mummified remains of a single individual belonging to a previously unknown mammalian species have been discovered, or have been found, drifting in high orbit over Galactic 4A. The being is dressed in what appears to be a flight suit, complete with a helmet, and may be a fighter pilot that ejected in some ancient battle, only to be forgotten and left behind. Our study of the corpse has provided some interesting data. Now, that's a sad fate, but understandable. In a galaxy full of war and strife, you're probably going to stumble across some, space mummified bodies. So yeah, we're basically just waiting for that stuff to tick up. Intelligent life taunts with pointed absence, reads a popular news net post on Earth. The people of the Human Galactic Union are apparently finding some humor in the fact that lower forms of alien life are now a matter of public record, but potential equals from other stars continue to elude us. Science Officer Nahi's report on the traces found on Galactic 4A seemingly add only an ironic twist to the situation. Man, the people on Earth are going to be thoroughly surprised when we run into our first Cthulhu-faced peaceful traders. Or militant space foxes. One of the two. That's going to be quite a shock compared to, the Centaurians, Cyclops bats and a mummified pilot. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Earth. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. That makes a lot of sense. Updated. That might include those 2 tundra worlds. We'll find out. We just got 2 more bodies here to investigate. And then we'll be set to move on to a new system for study. And I'm thinking probably this guy over here. Want to kind of get a good understanding of the stars immediately around you, so you don't get caught off guard by anybody. We got our habitable world surveys set. What are we? Oh, we're almost there. We're almost ready to start building the colony ship. So then we got to decide which planet would be best to colonize. So obviously we've got Alpha Centauri with the aliens. That might be a good place to start. It is a size 16. If we take a look over in Sirius, we got Sirius 3, size 20, which is also looking like a pretty good spot, if I do say so myself. A few more tile blockers, but I mean, we slap a capital down here, and we got bonus tiles going everywhere. Heck, we slap a capital tile down here, we got bonus going everywhere. That might be the spot right there. Okay. That is that system fully surveyed, so let's grab our intrepid space explorers, and while I'm tempted to hit those 2, we should probably hit that system first. And so we'll get Science Officer He out there to do his thing. We've got more than enough minerals now, so let's get ourselves started on colony ship numero uno. And then that's going to take a while to build. Because it's, you know, it's a slower paced game. Which I like in a strategy game. Strategy games should be slow paced. You shouldn't have to get yourself all worked up in a tizzy over when to click what and things of that nature. Let's take a look. We're almost done there, so it might be a good idea to start clearing out some science tiles. Because we're going to need science to do things. And the way science works is obviously you generate points and technology costs points. News of alien ships humming through the ether have reached Earth in many ways, ending the first chapter in the book of Human Galactic Union's bid for a stellar empire.
Hostile fleet.
Let's see what's here, because this does look fairly militant. We've got some blue shard people. Are there any planets here worth looking at? And it doesn't look like it, so what we're going to do, we're going to turn you off. So you can have your fleets with different stances. If we take a look at our strike fleet here, we've got aggressive, evasive, and passive. So passive, obviously, you're not going to engage, but, you know, you're going to do your best to avoid combat, but if, you know, you're not fleeing. Aggressive means you're going to go out of your way for combat, and evasive, what our current science ship is set to, means that at any time you see an enemy, you're going to run. So we'll leave our main fleet on passive, and we'll set our science fleet to passive as well. And this way, instead of having them go all the way back to Alpha Centauri to go to a different system, we can just tell them to, instead, go to a different system. We take a look here. Because they jumped in at the edge of the system, it's not going to take us too long to get our warp drives spooled up and out. And away we go. Off to bombing. Bomb. And we got nobody here. No real habitable planets either. I'm tempted to pick a new system, actually. Let's go over here. In the meantime, we've got some tech done. Propaganda, which will allow us to do planetary edicts.
Construction
and of course boost our influence gain, which is pretty handy. We could jump straight into some more planetary influence, but I think instead we'll go for the very useful tech of Biolab 1. Evading, that's fine. Construction complete on Earth, which means, yep, we've got the physics research done, and that pop is slowly growing. What I think we're going to do here is swap those guys around and then slap down a science lab right away. Yes. And so I'll explain as we tech up the science labs how those things work. Arid planets, not necessarily what I'm looking for, so let's move on. Eventually I'll come back through and clear those up. Sometimes it's handy leaving unexplored systems that you know will wind up within your empire. Because when your scientist dies, and all characters have an age, if we take a look, now he is 43, they can make it about 75 or 80, usually, before they kick the bucket, and then you're going to have to replace your scientist with a new scientist. And they'll start, you know, generally at a level 1. So you're going to want some things close by that'll be able to, you know, get them teched up. Let's go here. Like I say, right now I'm just looking for continental worlds. Because that's really all we can use. We'll go ahead and get ourselves Physics Lab 1. So we can get some physics research going on. And here we go. We've got, this isn't really anything new, some gamma aliens. Let's pause. But we can see the Hulfast core system here, which is owned by the gamma aliens. Now, we don't know anything about them. Where is my fleet? Really? You can stay there? You can. Okay. Well, we don't know anything about these guys. So what we can do is go to the situation log. And we can see here, these are all the alien species that we've encountered. Now we got the alpha aliens, which I think are these guys. If we take a look, well, we'd have to have units in the area, but I think those are those guys. The beta aliens would be these guys, and then the gamma aliens are going to be these guys. So because we know these guys are most important, let's research those guys first. While we're doing that, let's also see if we can quickly grab a sneaky look at their system. Because we are able to go through and see their stuff before we make contact with them. So let's see. Frozen, gas giant. Where's their main world? Like, it's gotta be this, right? Arctic world. Yes. Okay. Well, let's grab our signs. Oh, no, they'll probably wind up getting shot. Well, at least we can take a look at their fleet strength and see that their fleet is much larger than ours. But we know what's in that system now, which is good. We can go ahead, jump out, and come back over this way. So that's exciting. First contact with a real alien species. Or a real alien empire. We can't build a mining station there? No, we can't. Not with our limited mines. Now, the one disadvantage, obviously, to the system that I'm using here is that if you just start surveying worlds that, you know, or that contain habitable worlds, your scientist isn't exactly going to be getting the most out of teching up and things like that. So, you know, for a quick scan of the immediate system, it's not a bad way to go about doing things. But yeah, you are going to have less of a tech up, so when we've got things like level 4 anomalies, it is going to take us a little bit longer to get there. Which is unfortunate, but we've got another encounter in Contham this time with Delta aliens, so let's give that a pause. And Delta aliens, these are usually my Alpha aliens, but we'll go ahead and research them as well. Those guys are just peaceful space cows. They float around, eat from gas giants, that kind of thing.
Construction complete.
All right, we have the Shining City, our first colony ship, and I think, oh, do we go here or do we go Sirius? Sirius does look so much better though, doesn't it? All right, let's colonize Sirius.
Construction complete.
Now, I did place my colony capital over just minerals. Colony capitals produce, once you get them upgraded, minerals and food. So sometimes, you know, it might be better to place them on a 1-1. But I put them here because planetary capitals also give you bonuses. So if we take a look at Earth.
Special project complete.
Communications established with the Hulfir Coalition. After successfully translating their language, we have established communication with the Hulfar Coalition. Diplomatic channels are now open and all hostilities have been terminated. So you can actually fight other empires without contacting them, which is an interesting way to go about and play. And so here's humanity's first alien. Greetings! I speak for Executive Marsh Grigg and the wealthy elite of the Hulfir Coalition. We're always looking for new trading partners, and hopefully we can come to some sort of accommodation that will benefit the commerce of both our nations. You will find yourself no match for us, Hulfiri. We will fight for our right to exist, Hulfiri, and we will not be held back. I think we'll just go with, this seems the least confrontational, in the sense that we're saying there's nothing you can do to stop us, as opposed to we're better than you and we're going to fight you if, well, there we go. The news that we have encountered intelligent alien life for the first time has been received with mixed feelings by our populace. This confirms what we had long suspected. We are not alone in this galaxy. For each new alien species we encounter represents both an opportunity and a threat. We must be wary. This particular Xenos have a level of intelligence similar to our own, indicating that we achieved spaceflight at roughly the same time. This changes everything. And obviously, our ship here, because it's in Hulfir space, or Hulfiri space, it's gotta leave and head back to Sol, which is fine. You know, that makes sense. Now, there is obviously a way you can wind up, you know, surveying so deep into an empire that once you make contact with them, you just lose contact with your science vessel. It will come back. It's just got to travel all that way, and it's not allowed to take orders or receive communications until you can get it back in range. So, you know, that's not much of a detriment. And even though they are like directly, you know, north of us, we still have ways to expand out the east and west. So we're not completely hemmed in yet. We're just kind of hemmed in. But that's okay. We'll send the usurper out. Maybe do a little tour of these systems out here. Maybe figure out what's going on over here. We'll get a better understanding of what's going on in life. So let's take a look at these guys. The day when judgment will be passed on you grows ever closer. It doesn't sound like we're going to get along. So these guys are collectivist, militarist, and spiritualist. Well, that's pretty close to us, but let's take a look at the relations. Obviously, we're a new contact, so they don't like us. That goes away over time. We've got border friction, and I have a feeling this border friction is only going to get worse as time goes on. So, you know, that's not necessarily a good thing. They approve of our slave policy, so thumbs up there, but they don't like our purging policy. They don't like that we're materialist fools, and they are evangelizing. Yes, it's definitely not us. So these guys are evangelizing zealots, which instantly means that they've got minus 100 to our relations. And then we're charismatic, so that's plus 15. That doesn't necessarily matter. Obviously, if it wasn't for the evangelizing zealot bit, you know, we'd only be at negative 29. And so with the new contact going away and then setting up an embassy, we could actually make these guys friends and start working together with them. However, because they are, you know, basically Space Templars, we're not going to be getting along with them. So what we can do right off the bat, since relations are soured already and we're probably not going to wind up getting along with these guys, we're going to declare a rivalry here. So this will worsen our relations by 100, whatever. Having them as a rival will give us 1.5 influence each month and may make their other rivals friendlier towards us. So rivalry is a good way to get monthly influence. Like I say, you can't really build buildings or anything like that, so getting rivals is a good thing to do. And you know, geopolitically, setting somebody as rivals who has a minus 100 trait to relations is really good to build relations with other nations that'll be around, because chances are these guys aren't going to be making friends. So if we make them an enemy, we can make friends of their enemies. So without further ado, confirm that. So now we're at negative 229. Yes, that isn't all that great. Yes, they have a fleet that is much larger than ours. That doesn't matter. We can build that up. And at least now we know, push comes to shove, if we have to expand in any direction, we can expand in this direction. Our colony ship has gently touched down at the mouth of a large river delta on one of the several continents that can be found on Ashur. This temperate, forested region will serve as an ideal first landing site. The ship has been permanently converted into the administrative headquarters of the new settlement, and its reactor core is in the process of being removed so that it may serve as the colony's temporary power source. Hundreds of small tents and prefab shelters have sprung up around the former starship's massive hull as colonists begin to disembark in large numbers. The first human city on an alien world. Well, that is exciting, isn't it? So it's a great day for the Human Galactic Union. And we can see here that we're building up a colony. Now, this process does take time. It's going to take roughly 13 months, or, you know, a year, basically. And it's going to cost us 8 energy a month.
Special project
so
complete.
It is good to have your energy production either have a good surplus or have more than 8 energy a turn being generated, heck, ideally both, before you go off and slap down your first colony ship, because it could cause some economic issues if you're not quite prepared for them. But other than that, it's basically a fire and forget, and next year we'll be able to start slapping buildings down on there. The spaceborne life forms, which the human head of society research has come to refer to as the Tiyanki, are docile creatures capable of accessing some lower dimensions of subspace. They roam from system to system with a relative ease, though nearly the same ease as human fleets. They graze on gas, common to the upper layers of many gas giants. It is highly unlikely, to say the least, that this is their only food source, but intake of other nutrients has yet to be observed. They will rarely, if ever, attack, even when provoked. They can safely be ignored. And because we are materialistic, it would be a net loss anyway for us to hunt them. We don't want to waste ammo being flung at these guys. So, I think that's going to be a fairly good place to leave the video for today. And chances are I'm going to record one right after this, but let's try and keep these at a watchable length, eh? Alright, so thumbs up if you've enjoyed this episode. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.